Have you ever been in a relationship, romantic or otherwise, and had this gnawing feeling that at any moment they might leave? Even when things are going well, you're bracing yourself for an ending? You might not call it abandonment at first. You might just say you have trust issues or that you're afraid of getting too close. But deep down, you're constantly scanning for signs that love might disappear and wondering if you'll be okay when it does. Hello everyone, I'm Shrees Rochelle and welcome back to Beloved. Today we are talking about the fear of abandonment, where it starts, how it shapes our relationships, and how God invites us into security that doesn't depend on who stays or who leaves. So why does fear develop? A fear of abandonment is often rooted in our childhood experiences. If you lived through instability, a parent leaving, withdrawing affection, emotionally shutting down, or only showing love when you behaved a certain way, your nervous system learned to expect inconsistency. And you may have internalized the belief that everyone leaves eventually. I just have to be prepared. And that belief doesn't just live in your thoughts, it lives in your body. It shows up in your relationships, where you might cling, pull away, overgive, or test others constantly just to see if they'll stay. This fear isn't about being dramatic. It's about your system protecting you the only way it knows how, by keeping you one step ahead of the pain. Here are a few signs that you might be struggling with the fear of abandonment. You feel anxious when someone takes too long to respond. You overthink every silence, every message, every change in tone. You try to earn someone's presence, even if it means losing touch with yourself. You self-sabotage closeness, convincing yourself it's safer to leave before they do. You constantly seek reassurance. Do you still love me? Even if they just said it. The inner narrative here is, if I let myself believe they'll stay, it'll hurt me more when they don't. And what about when the fear of abandonment makes you stay in a situation too long? Fear of being left doesn't just make us afraid of loss. It can also make us afraid of change. And that fear can keep us in places where we were never meant to stay. You might remain in a relationship that depletes or dishonors you, a friendship where you're always walking on eggshells, a job or a church or any kind of environment where you shrink yourself just to be accepted. You tell yourself things like, at least they haven't left, or if I leave, it'll prove that I'm the problem, or maybe this is the best I can hope for. But staying to avoid abandonment is still abandonment, just of yourself. Here's a prayer prompt. God, give me the courage to release what's hurting me, even when I'm scared to be alone. I can definitely relate to when the fear of abandonment makes you stay too long. And every time I think about this topic, I remember a particular instance where I told an ex that I was just afraid of ending up alone. What the Bible says about being left. God knows your ache, the fear of being forgotten, left behind, or unloved. But He never leaves. And here are some verses to remind us of that. Even if my father and mother abandon me, the Lord will hold me close. Psalm 27, verse 10. God's love is not earned, it's everlasting. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 3. And Jesus, who was abandoned by His own friends, took on that pain so that you would never have to carry it alone. Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Hebrews 13, verse 5. People may walk away, but the one who created you never will. Let's discuss possible ways to heal from the fear of abandonment. The first thing is to acknowledge or to name the story. Write down the first time that you remember feeling abandoned. emotionally, physically, or spiritually? What did you believe about yourself in that moment? What part of you still feels stuck there? Let that version of you be seen and let God meet you there. Secondly, challenge the lie. Fear might be saying you're not worth staying for, but the truth is you are chosen, held, and never alone. Create a safe presence. Before looking to others to prove that they'll stay, practice staying with yourself. Can you sit in silence and know that God is there? Can you be present with your own needs and pain instead of abandoning yourself? Next, ask God to rebuild your expectations. Instead of assuming this will not last, ask God, what are you teaching me about trust and consistency through this? You were made for lasting love, and that starts with God. The affirmation that I would like to leave you with for today is, I am not defined by who walked away. I am held by the one who stays. And we're going to close on this verse. For the Lord will not reject his people. He will never forsake his inheritance. And that is taken from Psalm chapter 94, verse 14. If this episode stirred something in you, a memory, a relationship, a fear, you are not alone. You are not too sensitive. You are not needy. You are simply healing. You're learning what it means to trust, not in people's perfection, but in God's presence. And that is sacred work. If you would like personal support as you do this healing work, I do offer a few one-to-one slots, and you can email me at belovedwithcherise@gmail.com to book a free 10-minute discovery call. Next time on Beloved, we will be talking about people-pleasing, the silent sacrifice of self for the sake of keeping the peace. But for now, this has been Beloved with Cherise Rochelle, where faith meets healing, and you are reminded of just how deeply loved you are. Until next time, stay rooted in truth, wrapped in grace, and never forget you are beloved.